Hi, it's Pastor Paul L. Anderson here at the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, where we believe God's blessings never stop flowing. It is Terrific Tuesday. We thank God for the wonderful ways He's blessing us. He's propelling us into the middle of the week, and we're so grateful. Today, I want to invite you to look with me in Numbers, the 12th chapter, verses 1 through 9. This is a very powerful story. It's a story that's about Miriam and Aaron. They are the sister and brother of Moses. They come up with criticisms against Moses because Moses does something that they never would have anticipated. It's something that they found out that they think because they're Moses' family, they can say whatever they want to say to him. But this text begins to remind us that God does something to them and God puts them in their place. Well, see, they found themselves criticizing Moses because Moses married a Cushite woman. In essence, she was a woman of very dark complexion. She was so beautiful. Moses' wife was one of the most beautiful women that you could ever meet in your life. They had a problem with her because her skin was so dark. You know, this becomes somewhat similar to what our world sees today. It is oftentimes that people have a stigma that's attached to people of a darker pigmentation of skin. We must remind ourselves that God tells Moses and he tells Aaron and Miriam, when he hears them saying this, they start this conversation in the tabernacle. God tells all three of them, get out. And notice what happened. The Lord descended in a pillar of cloud and stood at the entrance of the tabernacle. And he called them. He says, Aaron and Miriam, you step forward. Now listen to me. I have something to say to you. I have revealed my word unto you by the prophet Moses, your brother, and you need to listen to him because he is my servant. You know, on this Clergy Appreciation Month, we need to honor those that God gives us to speak to us. God reminds them, I have spoken clearly to Moses face to face. Now, this is one of the very interesting times that we see in the text that God comes down out of the cloud and he speaks not just to Moses, but he speaks to Miriam and Aaron. He puts them in their place. You know, I think there's a moment that you and I need to understand that God uses all human beings. But God, when he chooses someone to be his spokesperson, the Bible reminds us, touch not my prophet, touch not my anointed, and do my prophet no harm. We must be careful how we criticize those in whom God has given a word. We must understand that God has a purpose and a plan for all of our lives. Simply because we don't understand it, it doesn't mean that it doesn't come from God. They thought because they were so close to Moses, they could say whatever they wanted to say. You and I have to think twice about the words that we utter to people, especially when the person becomes a spokesperson for God. When God has called them, when God has chosen them, when God has anointed them, we must make sure that we listen to the words that they have to say. But we must remind ourselves that God always has the last word. So God puts Miriam, God puts Aaron in their own place. You know, wouldn't it be great if all of us learned to stay in our lane? You know, I remember years ago, I heard someone saying, stay in your lane. It's important that you and I stay in our lane as we're driving our vehicles, because if you cross left of center, you can definitely make it a bad day for someone. But we must stay in our lanes. We must stay where God has called us to. We must walk in our own personal anointing. We must walk in the place in which God has given us. And we need to leave ourselves out of the business that we're not a part of. So God has to get Miriam and Aaron straight. You know, God is trying to get all of us straight. We need to do what he's called us to do. God led Moses to his wife. And when God did this, we should say, this is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Today, I hope that you and I can listen to God and make sure that we don't complain about things that really don't concern us. May God bless you. May heaven smile upon you. I always know you're exceedingly and abundantly blessed, and God has a great blessing in store for you. In this year of 2023, expect it to be bigger and better than you ever envisioned it to be, and take the Lord with you everywhere you go.
To sow a seed to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, visit our newly redesigned website, thefountainofraleigh.org, and select Sow a Seed from the homepage. Also, giving has been made easier with the new Fountain of Raleigh app, available now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Download today, select Giving from the main menu, and then follow the directions to complete your giving through Subsplash.
Thank you so very much for all of your gifts and donations that you've given to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship. We thank you for what you've done in the past, what you're currently doing, and what you will do in the future. Your gifts and donations helps us to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, not only locally, but throughout the world. Thank you again for your gifts, and may God continue to richly bless you. It is here at the Fountain that we believe that we are exceedingly and abundantly blessed, and may you receive those blessings that God has in store for you.